everybody, and welcome back to NovelNoms. I am excited to see you this week, and before we get started with what we want to make today, I wanted to show you something that I got in the mail this week. And I had shared with you, I think that I had won a contest that was done by Lexus, and I just put like a comment and they chose randomly, and I won an apron signed by many, well, I think there's 5 or 6 top chefs, including Michael Simon, Michael Chiarello, whom I love, Masaharu Morimoto, hello, love him, Iron Chef. So this is the coolest thing. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet because I don't want to get it messed up. But this was like score. I also wanted to tell you who the winner of our first viewer suggested NovelNoms will be Andrew. I can't tell what your last name is, but you're from Adai, Michigan, A-D-A-I, Michigan. And he sent me this card. It's hilarious. It says before and then after. Anyway, he said, I first want to say that I love NovelNoms and that I love you. Me too. For your giveaway, the book I would love to inspire you would be the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. While preparing to head to the Congo, the Price family brought a crack load of Betty Crocker mixes. Could you make a cake-inspired dish by the Poisonwood Bible? Feel free to add any twist to it. Take care and always be happy. Andrew, a.k.a. Wall Save Mirror. I can't. Andrew, fantastic. And I was excited because I actually really love the Poisonwood Bible. And I love Barbara Kingsolver. She actually lived here in Tucson for many years. And Andrew is going to win this poster of Arizona chili peppers. I'm very excited to send that to you. And so keep sending in your suggestions with give me a book and give me a meal or a type of food or something that you'd like me to make to give me some inspiration. And if I pick you next month, you'll win another prize yet to be named. So send them in. My P.O. box is down below. Today we're going to do the Poisonwood Bible, which, as Andrew stated, it is a book about a missionary family, the Prices, who go to the Congo to serve as missionaries and to minister to this small African village. And it's so much more than about, that religious part of it. It's about this family who is like the typical American Pie family that goes over there into this culture and wants to change them to their culture when really a lot of them are kind of taken over by the other culture. It's very interesting. But as he also said, that they brought a bunch of Betty Crocker mixes with them because they wanted to kind of feel like home. In fact, they go to make one for a birthday and they come to find that all of them have spoiled because of the humidity and all the factors of the jungle. And so I do want to make a cake inspired by the Poisonwood Bible, but I wanted to take something that was American and something that was, African and mix them together. So for the cake, we're going to do like a regular classic cheesecake, which, by the way, I love. My wedding cake was actually entirely made of cheesecake, but I want to mix it with something that is a dessert you would normally have in the Congo. Now, all the research I did, I found that they don't really have like typical desserts that they eat. They don't really feel the need to add a sweet thing at the end of a meal. But if they are going to have something on the sweet side, they would have a fruit salad with avocado and pineapple and mango and all of those amazing fruits that you can find in the warmer climates. And so I wanted to take some mangoes and some pineapples and mix them with that yummy cheesecake. And so we're going to have a pineapple cheesecake with a mango beautiful glazed sauce on top. So to get this started, the first thing we need to do is make our crust. But before we do anything, I'm going to preheat the oven to 325, and I am going to use a spring-form pan. Now, a spring-form pan, all it is it's got a little buckle on the side here, and I unbuckle it, and the bottom comes out. And the reason we have something like this is so that you can, here's your beautiful cheesecake on here instead of in this deep dish where you can't even appreciate how pretty it is. Keeps it all contained, plus this helps it to evenly bake. If you don't have a springform pan, you could use just a regular metal pie plate. Metal's probably better than glass because it helps to distribute the heat better. Don't spend a lot on these pans. I think I literally bought a whole set of these. There were 3 of them, different sizes, for $8 at Walmart. So not a huge investment. For the crust, I have some rice checks. And I'm gluten-free, so I choose to use ingredients that are non-gluten-y. You could use graham crackers, you could use cookies if you had some cookies on hand. I'm going to use rice checks. I'm going to add to this, before I blend it up and obliterate it, just a couple pinches of brown sugar. I'm going to put in probably about a tablespoon or 2 of brown sugar, just enough to give it a little bit of sweetness. I'm going to add in, I have an ounce of almonds. You can use salted or unsalted. I like a little bit of salty with the sweet. And I'm just going to blend those up. I don't want it to be just fine powder because I want it to have a little bit of crunch yet to it. And to it, I'm going to add some melted butter. I'm going to use probably about 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm just going to pop this in the microwave for about 30 seconds.
And you are?
My handy assistant will be putting that in the microwave for 30 seconds. So we've got our rice checks, almonds, and brown sugar all blended up into like this crunchy powder. And I have my butter that I have melted, and I'm just going to dip my pastry brush in there. You can use a regular basting brush that you baste your meat with as long as it's clean. I'm just going to brush some butter on the bottom. I'm just going to pour the remaining melted butter into that crumb mixture that we made and stir it up. I want to get it all coated. Because what's going to happen is we're going to put this on the bottom of our pan, and it's going to be crispy and yummy, and it's going to form our crust. Okay, so I'm going to pour that into the bottom of our buttered pan. And then just spread it out so it coats the bottom. The great thing about this crust is it doesn't, unlike a pie crust or something, it doesn't have to completely hold together, because when we pour that cheesecake mixture down over it, it's going to help hold it all together. I'm just going to put this in my 325-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes until it starts to brown, so keep an eye on it. While that's baking, we can start making our filling. Though we do want to wait until that pie filling, but we do want to wait when that pie shell comes out to let it cool all the way. But in the meantime, we can get everything ready. So I've got some basic ingredients. Here's the great thing about cheesecake. Cheesecake is one of those things you can make from memory once you know the basic ratios. The recipe that I like to use, it goes 3, 2, 1, half. So 3 eggs, 2 blocks of cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and half a cup of sugar. That's how I remember it. You can remember however you want. And then you can kind of add some other stuff to it. So once you know the basic recipes for most of the things that you love, you can kind of, riff on it and do your own thing. Okay, so I've got 2 blocks of cream cheese. I would stay away from the fat-free, just because fat-free tends to have a lot of like extra chemicals and stuff in it, and probably won't bake the way that regular cream cheese will bake. But like a third, like the new Fachel, I don't know how to say that, but the 1/3 less fat, that's okay, because it's really not that much different than the regular. Okay, so I've got 2 blocks of cream cheese that I have let warm up to room temperature, and I'm going to put those in the bottom of my Ninja. You could use whatever food processor. You could use a hand mixer. Cheese. I've got 3 eggs. Spoon. And got a half a cup of sugar. And a teaspoon of vanilla. You could add more vanilla if you want. That's completely up to you. And I just want to, don't over blend it. You just want to get it so it's all combined and it's in a smooth texture. Okay, so now that you've got this is a basic classic cheesecake. Once that shell is cool, you could pour this in there, have a basic cheesecake, put whatever you like on top, yummy. But we want to kind of put our own little spin on it. And I'm going to take an orange and I'm going to just zest it. You can use the tiny side of my grater. And I just want to get so that darker orange, see how it's light on the orange now? Just till it gets to the white, not all the way to the white because that'll be bitter. So, this is kind of one of those things you have to kind of like put your hand on the inside. There's all that orange zest. And I'm going to put that into my cheesecake mixture. Next thing I'm going to add, I have some crushed pineapple. This actually came out of a can. I didn't have any in the house and I really wanted to make this. Whenever I have something like this that I want to use in something that I'm making, I try to make it as pure as possible. So because this was in syrup, I just rinsed it in a colander real quick to kind of get all that heavy sugar out of there. It has its own sweetness already, so I don't want to add to that. So my pineapple I'm going to add to the mixture as well. Think about it. You could add whatever kind of pureed fruit you like. You could add some chocolate sauce. You could add some fresh berries. You could add whatever it is you like to this. Just don't add way too much because you don't want to overwhelm the mixture. So I have probably about 1.5 cups of crushed pineapple. And we're just going to blend it up real quick. Look how pretty that is. It's got this nice like cream color with little orange flecks in it. And it tastes deliciousness. So this is something, like I said, you can totally personalize this and make it like the way that your family likes it or the way that you personally like it. And you know, it's one thing I really loved about how Barbara Kinsolver, how she tells the story in the Poisonwood Bible, because each chapter is told from the perspective of a different member of the Price family, which is really kind of cool because you get to see their experience through the eyes of each person. And again, this is the way that you should experience food. Make it the way you like it, adapt it, learn the basic ways to make the recipes you love, and then make it something that is personal to you. That's, you know, excites your taste buds and make them go like this. Okay, so I'm going to take that crust out of the oven, almost like a cookie on the bottom. It's just going to get crispier as it cools. So I'm going to set this aside and let this cool. And then when it's ready, we can start to assemble our cheesecake. So our crust is cooled. As you can see, it's like a hard cookie crunch right now. Yum. And I have our cheesecake mixture that has that orange zest and that pineapple. Sometimes when people make cheesecakes, they'll put it in a water bath to kind of coat the outsides and to even out the temperature, but I've made it like this before and never really had a problem. So it's up to you. You can make it however you want. So as you can see, I've got that cheesecake mixture in my beautiful pan with that crunchy crust on the bottom. And I'm going to stick it in my oven for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to make the topping that we're going to put on the cheesecake, which is going to be delicious. And I'm going to use some mangoes. Now, mangoes are one of those things that you may not care for. You could use whatever fruit you like to go with this. It's up to you. You could use more pineapple on top. Is to kind of stand it on end and turn it around like a little ballerina and slice off that mango skin. And then kind of cut into the flesh until you feel that little hard stone. Just cut it right off of that hard middle. I'm going to take this mango, show all my skins off. I'm just going to run my knife through it. I'm going to take that mango and I'm going to put it into my little mini ninja. Some honey. I'm going to just put like a little drizzle of honey. A little touch of vanilla in there. The last thing I'm going to put in, and of course this is optional, just a touch of coconut. Pulse it, because I still want some chunks of mango in. So there we've got almost like a chutney. Alright, so now I've got this mango chutney, like salsa almost, because it's rich and chunky and smells amazing. And you know, we didn't use any artificial sugars or anything like that. And so this I'm actually going to refrigerate and put it aside because the cheesecake is, once it cools, it's going to need to kind of chill for a few hours. So we're going to finish this tomorrow and I'm going to be able to put this on there and make it amazing. Okay, so the cheesecake has been baking for a little over an hour. And, oh, it smells amazing. You can see it's still soft, pretty soft in the middle, but the outsides are more cooked than the inside, which is exactly what you want. And here's the trick about cheesecake. because I don't want it to crack and break on the top. What we're going to do is we're going to put it back in the oven, turn it off, and then I'm just going to leave the door open, and I'm going to let it cool in the oven for about another hour, and then I'm going to take it out and let it cool, and then it will be ready to eat. Our cheesecake is all cooled, and if you cooled it in your refrigerator, before you serve it, you want to make sure you bring it up to room temperature. So just put it on the counter for a little while and let it warm up a little bit, because you want it to get that warm, just creamy wonderfulness. Doesn't that look pretty? Look. All right, I'm going to release it from its prison. So you just pull the little buckle, and the side expands so that you can take out this gorgeous cheesecake. And you could even just put a fork under there and slide it right off of the bottom pan. Doesn't it look nummy? Now the cheesecake by itself is going to be delicious. It's got that pineapple in there, it's got the orange zest, the vanilla, yummy. But we're going to use that topping we made, which is the fresh mangoes with a little bit of coconut, a little bit of honey, a little bit of vanilla, deliciousness. And you can spread this on top of the cheesecake and have it beautiful that way. That's why it also kind of covers up any imperfections if you have little cracks in the cheesecake. But another way to serve it is to have different toppings. In addition to the mango topping, maybe you have a chocolate topping or strawberries or whatever. Just some options. We like options. So I'm going to cut a piece of this. Look at that. Ooh. Just going to take that mango mixture and spoon it over the top. We've got that gorgeous color, that gorgeous flavor. Now we get to eat it. Some mango, we get that crunchy cookie bottom that we made. That is heavenly. That's pretty delicious. I'm going to enjoy my cheesecake, my pineapple, my tropical pineapple cheesecake with mango-ness on top. And I'm going to go reread the Poisonwood Bible. Thank you, Andrew, for suggesting that. You'll be getting your prize in the mail soon. All of you be sure to send me your suggestions for your book and your meal that you'd like to have me make, and I might choose yours. Have a great week. I'll see you next week on NovelNoms.
From classics to children's books, you never know what she's gonna cook when Gretchen makes NovelNoms.